Hello, and welcome to another episode of TSF Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing The King's Man, which is a prequel to the King's Men series. Fantastic movie, at least the very first one. Written, of course, by Mark Millar. He is the comic book genius behind stuff like this: Kick-Ass, Wanted, Kingsman, Jupiter's Legacy. It's a whole bunch of good stuff written by Mark Millar. So, I expect to see good stuff out of him. But then not every good thing is out of Millar is great. Let's say this movie. First off, we didn't need a prequel to this movie, to the series. The Kingsman was a fantastic standalone movie, perfect as it is. We had a great story, good gentleman spy action, and then they turned around and they made a sequel, which was not needed, but was weird. And I'm like, why? And then now they made a prequel, and I'm like, why? Regardless, let's talk about the good stuff. The action in this movie, like the rest of the Kingsman movies, and basically everything out of Millar, is fantastic. And the director is the same as the director in the previous two films. So you know that there's going to be that same level of consistency. Like in the very first movie, we had the church fight scene, which was the best fight scene of all time. In this, they try to one-up that, but sadly they don't get to that level. So they had to compensate with two fights instead. One's this fight where there's a bunch of this is all set in World War I. So there's a bunch of the English side versus the German side, and they're in between no man's land. And the thing is, this is in the middle of the night, so if they make any noise, firing is going to start from either side. So this fight scene was like fantastic. You have this extreme tension of these 5 versus 5 people fighting, and it's with knives, and it's a fist fight, and they have to be quiet, and it's just freaking amazing. And there's a second fight in this movie towards the end where it's a sword fight. You wouldn't expect anything fancy out of that, but they put cameras at the ends of the swords, so like the person dueling, you can see the person who's dueling, and the sword moves, and it's good stuff. Apart from that, it's an all right movie. Pretty average, if you ask me. Good acting. But here's the thing. Because this is a prequel, I expected a lot of the stuff in this movie to lead to Kingsman, which was, they had this whole gentleman spy thing down to a T. In this one, they don't. There's stuff that's in here that feels retcon, and then there's other stuff in here that feels like they could have done a better job, but it's all right. Kingsman, the tailor shop that is, the tailor shop in question, which these guys are named after, is already established as a tailor shop in this, but there's no spy element to that. And at the very end, the main dude, he just gets up and he proclaims himself as Arthur. It's a throwback to how his son referred to him when he was much younger as a kid, and but then he just gets up and he's Arthur. He assembles his group of king's men, the very first batch, and they're all wearing these glasses, which makes sense in King's Men, but in King's Man, I'm just like, what? Why? And then there's other stuff, like the gun they use. They just attach. Okay, so it's just a regular pistol with a flare launcher. In the next in King's Men, they have it like, it makes sense, right? In this one, they just slapped it on there, and they said that, okay, this is a flare gun, and you just go out and use it. There's no explanation. There's the stuff that should be told to us, or at least shown to us, is not shown. It's like this person just magically has it. Apart from that, there are two things in this movie that get carried on in King's Men. It's the two taglines that they have. One, Oxford Not Brogues. That has a really good origin in this. But the other one, Manners Maketh Man. I don't know why. The villain says it once and that's it. That's it. They don't even say that they're going to take it. The villain says it out of nowhere. I don't know why. But yeah, apart from that, they're gonna make this is made for money. They're gonna make a sequel. They've already teased the sequel in the post-credit scene, and of course we know where this is gonna head into eventually. They might pull out 2, maybe 3 movies more out of this, and then the franchise is gonna die off. Yeah, but if we're gonna score this, honestly, I want to give it 7.5, but I feel that's a little too harsh. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Let us know what you think of in the comments below, and be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you all. Goodbye.